Calling all units, calling all units. Donut shop has a fresh dozen. Go ahead and take a 1040.
Yeah.
All right.
He's got his hands crossed. It's a serious.
Hey,
it's a serious
salute, my
match.
brother.
Cheers.
Welcome.
Suckers.
Are we rolling now? It's my turn.
Now you're in our realm.
So, I wore a hat in about 98% of these episodes.
Okay.
No hat today.
All right. I like
No
that.
hat today because I wanted you to get the whole read.
Got it.
I wanted you to feel me out. I feel like the
No
hat.
mask. I got it.
Boom.
Right there.
I want you to get all the signals that I'm giving out.
You're full of shit.
But you got that beard, so you lose a little
I'm
bit.
hiding a little bit. What's up, guys? It's Nick from Nick Off Duty.
And Justin from Davey.
And I got a special friend with me. You want to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name's Joe McCrink.
Yep, and that's about it. All right, good show. Salute, my brothers. Joe.
Yes. Don't forget.
Joe is you're a policeman,
Yes.
a special policeman.
Yes, I am.
You have a special skill. I have a
yes.
set of special skills. That's Liam Neeson's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we want to talk about that. We got a lot of aspiring police officers. I'm not going to reveal the special skill yet.
Okay.
I know people listening are like, what's the special skill? Oh, you'll know. I don't want to talk about that right now. I want to build up to it.
Okay.
Okay? So you have a special skill set that we're going to learn all about today in today's episode of the podcast.
Absolutely.
All right. So with that being said, before we get into that special skill, how long you been a cop?
Going on 23 years.
23 years.
23 years.
Let me see if I could do the math. I was 15 years old when you...
We were in high school.
Yeah. I was 15
Wow.
years old when you became a cop. So I know you do more than just police work. You've done a lot of good stuff, maybe in your career, but outside of law enforcement. And before we get into law enforcement stuff, you recently had a big event that you did and you were covered by the news. Can you speak a little bit about that? And I'm trying to be vague because I want you to talk about what you do.
Okay. Well, in order to survive 23 years with in the police department,
Yeah.
you have to have something other than police work. Your whole life cannot be police work. You know, we're not a bunch of tackleberries.
Yeah, hold your pen. Justin.
You saw my eyes?
Justin.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
By the way, that's a here. You can hold this one. This one doesn't click, and you can
Okay.
turn it.
There you go.
I'll take that one.
There you go.
The clicky one, it picks up on the mics.
Yeah, he gets. I learned that. You know, he sits there. He starts touching inside of his ears and everything. He doesn't like the clicking of the pen.
There you go.
So those that were
just
listening,
thinking about the fans. I'm thinking about the fans.
Those that
That's
were
it.
listening, Joe was clicking his pen. One of Justin's pet peeves that I learned early on in the episode.
Right. There you go.
So
But we
you
don't
need-
want
you
to
need-
upset Justin.
No.
You need
Absolutely.
something outside of the
Yeah,
walls.
you got to have something
Yeah.
other than police work in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before I was a police officer, I was coaching youth football for many years. I took 1 year off when I was in the academy, and then I went back. I've coached junior varsity football, high school football, and I do road bikes. I cycle.
Did you play football?
Yeah, I went to Carl Park Senior High.
Okay.
Go
shout
Rams,
out.
class
Shout
of
out.
'88.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Class of
we were 0-10, but you know, hey, we had good parties. We
Yeah.
had a lot of
Yeah.
good parties at Carl Park.
0-10.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but so I started coaching, and then I started riding bike, and you know, you gotta keep your mind occupied, and you
Yeah.
gotta try and stay in some sort of decent health and decent shape. You know.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Something like that to get your mind off of it. 23 years, you're coming up to retirement, right?
Yes, I have 5 years, 4 months to go.
Nice, but who's counting, right?
No, yeah.
So that being said, if your life, just talking to those audience out there, if your life is set up and you just want law enforcement, nothing but law enforcement, when you retire, you're going to be lost in the sauce.
You're gonna burn out.
That's right.
Yeah.
You're definitely gonna burn out.
So yours cycling, road or dirt or what?
Mountain
I'm
bike.
strictly road bikes.
Strictly road.
I'm those people that normal people, when you're driving,
Yeah.
you're like, why are they in the damn road?
Yeah.
Get off the road.
Yeah,
You know.
the whole
So,
suit and
The
everything.
whole suit. Yeah. They're
Yeah.
like, there's that fat dude.
Sponsors,
Yeah.
yeah.
You
got
got
our
sponsored?
little.
You sponsored?
Well, our group is called Blue Gears. Blue for police.
Yeah.
And then it's got the little gear symbol.
Yeah.
And most of the guys on my crew are either current or retired.
Nice.
Retired police officers.
So
Do like the Tour de Force and stuff? You ever done those?
I haven't done that, but I have something coming up, hopefully next year.
What is it?
Well, let me back up.
All right.
This year, I did a fundraiser. It's for Live Like Bella.
Yes.
And basically, Live Like Bella is for pediatric cancer. So I did a ride for pediatric cancer awareness.
Yeah.
And basically, what I did is I kind of stole something like what you do. I made a whole bunch of videos.
Yeah.
Not all fancy like you guys, but, just with my phone. I made all these videos, and I, hey, sponsor me. I'm going to do this ride. And, I would take pictures of my ride and videos of my rides, and I would solicit.
Sponsor you for how many miles, though?
Well, what I did is I did 1,000 miles in 1 month. So September was Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month.
Yeah.
And so I said, you know what, this is perfect. I reached out to the Live Like Bella. They were on board 100%. And I just went out there and did it. And I was able to raise almost $22,000 in 1 month.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wow.
And that was strictly just doing videos on Facebook and word of mouth and, harassing the hell out of my friends,
Yeah, hey, you're gonna give money or you're gonna spend money. Why not do it this way?
Exactly.
And encourage me to continue your fitness and also give back and do better.
Well,
Cool.
I do. Like I said, I've been doing road bikes for about 6 years solid, and I needed to do. We normally do it's a whole bunch of police officers. We would ride up to Disney World, or we'd go down to Key West. We'd make it 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
And I needed something that was going to challenge me, and something that I had to push myself. What other way? I think, oh man, I'll ride 1,000 miles in a month.
This was solely organized on you, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you're like, I don't know if they did it this year because of COVID or anything.
Well,
or any
that's
special ride.
Yeah, because of COVID, the normal group that we would ride up to Disney or Key West, we couldn't do it because of COVID. So I just, I said I had to do something.
Yeah.
And also around that time we had just, and I don't want to get off topic, but we had just had the riots.
Yeah.
And I'm also on a special bike squad that my department has.
Nice. Those guys, big up. Those guys are awesome.
Bike response.
It's BRT.
Yeah, we just know that.
Yeah, it's BRT, Bicycle Response Team.
There it is.
So
Some bad member jammers.
Yeah.
I'm the oldest guy on the crew.
Yeah, but
And
you smoking those young guys.
you know what? We're a team,
Ah.
and that's what I'm there for.
Solid.
yes.
That's a team player right there.
That's a
We are a team.
I think we played together good as a team.
Exactly.
As a team.
Bro,
In the locker
telling
room,
you,
they're
man.
like, stop it with that shit.
I was watching the news like with my wife. We were just kind of like, hey, look at that, and we were watching it that like first night. And when they were by the CVS or the Walgreens, I think it was helicopter video of it, and so they were showing people moving north, and I was watching it. And then I go and I see groups walking off because, like we can see different things when we're watching that video. And they kept the camera going north with people. And I go, Lupe, go to those guys, go to those guys. And then all of a sudden, you also see the bike guys coming from like the amphitheater or whatever, cutting across Biscayne. And I go, oh, go back to them, go back to them. And then you see the camera start to pan back. And it's like you see those guys just cutting in, wall, cutting in, wall, cutting in, wall.
Bad
So
member jammers.
It was awesome
It
response.
was, it's first of all, like I said, honestly, and we joke around, but it was a team effort.
Yeah, no.
From our lieutenant to the officers, and we all worked well. The sergeants did an excellent job.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons why they wanted me on the team is I was one of the few that had actually been in a actual riot.
Yeah, 2006, right?
Was it 6?
FTA?
FTA was
FTA?
4 or
Oh, yeah.
6, something like that.
Yeah.
And then
No,
Ilion,
yeah,
I
4.
was.
Was it 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 4, and then I think I was part of Ilion. I had been in a couple riots that had happened in at the arena and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they needed that experience, and then I also ride bikes. So you're gonna pay me to ride bike?
Yeah.
I can do that. I
Yeah.
can dig it. So
but there-
Just so people know, FTAA was a trade organization meeting that happened in Miami that pretty much the
Occupy
streets of
Wall
Miami. Yeah, it's type.
Right.
I mean, it was
Type,
big
yeah.
time, like worldwide
Yes.
focus on Miami. It wasn't what we experienced this past summer. It was actually
We were the only
focused.
show.
It was Miami.
Yeah.
So
And
it was big time.
I
And you had
remember-
field forces from all
Yes.
over. all over the country. I mean, I know
Yes.
we were there, and our guys still tell stories to this day
it was
about
incredible.
You know what they experienced and
Yes.
stuff. Yeah,
It was.
They wrote the book.
It was basically, and we were fortunate because we learned during that time, maybe 2 years earlier. I guess the anarchists destroyed Seattle,
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, it was a couple.
and
yeah.
Seattle, gave us the heads up. Hey, you guys better get your act together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we trained maybe 6 months prior, and this was for FTA. And when they came out, it was just massive. There were helicopters everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't want to compare it to a battle or a war, but
Yeah.
it was as close as a war as you were going to get in a civilian situation
Yeah.
downtown Miami.
I guess the difference was that it was focused in Miami versus recently it was like everyone's like, hey, you guys coming to the party? Like, no, we kind of got our own little party going on in the city here, so we
Yeah.
can't really help you out now. And,
Yeah.
But luckily, we had some agencies come over and help us out. Gable, shout out Miami PD.
FHP.
Well, yeah, for this year,
FHP.
but yeah, and then
Yeah.
But
So,
going back, sorry.
Okay.
Before I'm gonna cut you
Segue.
off. I gotta
Alright.
give you your creds. MVPs of that whole show there. During the midst of it, BRT MVPs. And then that Officer Washington incident on the boulevard.
Yep.
That was good too. Well, when our boy jumped out, what? Yeah, that was good too. But you guys professional and you guys took care of business. So shout out to you guys.
I appreciate
BRT
it.
out
And I
there.
know the guys appreciate it too.
Yeah.
and they look good too.
So what the hell were we talking about again?
Yeah,
Oh, live like
word
Bella.
of it. Live
You
like
rode 1,000.
Bella.
Hey,
Yeah.
so what's 1,000 miles? I know you like probably thinking about like, damn, how long is it? So if I rode 1,000 miles straight, how far would I get if I rode north? Did you do that math?
I didn't, but I know it was out of Florida.
It was out of
It
Florida.
was definitely past Florida, so,
All right, so you rode to Georgia somewhere.
something like that.
All right.
But it was
You're gonna Google it now.
Yeah.
yeah,
I'll work
somebody,
on
yeah,
it.
he'll figure it out.
Yeah.
No, so the 1,000 miles, it was tough. I had to double up and ride in the morning.
Yeah.
I was riding at 5 a.m. I would put in like 30 miles,
Yeah.
go to work, and by the way, I did this all on my time.
Yeah.
It was not on
Show up early.
Show up extra early, and then after work, I would ride at night and get. I would try and do 50 miles every time I rode, at least.
Did you grow a long beard and wear Nikes like Gump?
No,
Okay.
I did not.
I was cycling.
No, I did not. But it felt like it sometimes.
Yeah, I
And-
just started running,
Yeah,
and then like
I just kept going.
Yeah.
Let's just say Miami to Nashville is 913 miles.
Oh,
Okay,
so
so
you'd
that's
be
pretty good.
somewhere up there into Kentucky.
Right.
Nice.
I probably could have gone up the East Coast too, but
Right.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's, yeah,
How,
I mean,
how was Kentucky?
it was good. They
Yeah.
have good bourbon there, I hear.
Yeah.
So,
Even at the airports,
yeah.
by the way.
Yeah. You get off the plane and it's everywhere.
I went in the airports. I was waiting for my flight, and when I was visiting Galls and John Jones Police Pursuit, shout out, sitting in the airport. Have you been to airports lately? Amazing restaurants in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
sometimes they're hit or miss.
Well, it depends on where you're flying into.
Yeah.
I'm flying into. I know up there in I think it was Lexington, up in that area. I don't know which airport I flew into. Damn it! Now
Yeah.
the story sucks now because I can't tell you the airport.
Yeah.
But the bourbon.
Yeah. It's like when you fly into Chicago, you
Yeah.
know, there's the thick crust pizza in the airport.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
great.
yeah.
Or
My-
the popcorn. You ever have Garrett's popcorn
Yeah,
from
yeah,
Chicago?
popcorn.
Yeah.
Or
Oh, my
or
gosh.
they probably have like a Portello's in the airport
yeah,
too.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What we have the Sergio's is in Miami.
We have a Sergio's.
And in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
I fly out of Southwest Airlines in
Yeah.
Fort Lauderdale, and I always get Sergio's on my way out.
But it is airport food. We do realize that.
No, man. I've been one of the in North. I think it was North Carolina was the hub that I was flying into a couple of times. They have a phenomenal little steakhouse thing in there. I don't know. It was good to me.
Throw it in the comments what your favorite airport food is.
Yeah.
If you
Not
if-
airplane.
not airplane.
We're not
no,
talking
no.
airplane.
Airport.
It messes
Right,
with your
airport.
taste buds.
Right.
But yeah, if we could go do a show somewhere, what airport should we fly through
Yeah, and
so we can get the best
But then
meal?
there's always that one person that gets the food,
Yeah.
brings it on the plane,
Oh.
cracks it open, and
My
you
wife.
can smell, and it's onions
Yeah,
or
fish.
Or,
That's my wife.
oh,
Fix
and you're
up
like,
the
what the
plane.
hell?
my
Yeah.
my wife is all about that. Like, no, I'm doing something on my classwork. Just leave it there, and I'll bring it on the plane. And she's,
Oh,
And this was in October during COVID. So I mean, it's
Lupe.
like she's like mask on.
Oh, that's
eating,
great.
you
There's-
know.
Hear
always
this,
one of them.
Lupe. Hear this.
She doesn't listen to this
There's
show
other
anymore.
people.
There's other people on the plane.
There's other people.
Come on.
Went on a plane one time with Sergeant Reyes,
Yeah.
Misa Reyes, and this lady had a cat, a rescue cat,
You can't do that anymore.
under the seat, and it was just going the whole time, and it smelled like cat. You know, sometimes I'm not a cat, dog person, whatever, but when a cat smells like a cat and pee, it smelled like that the
And
whole
you're on
time.
in a confined area.
Yeah. So we were trying to. I was like, nah. It was a long flight. We were in California. I'm like, nah. I can't fly this whole way back with. So I started rubbing my eyes real hard. And I'm like, excuse me, to the flight attendant. I have allergies, and there's a cat there. Is there something that we could do? Maybe I can move my seat. And the lady's like, oh, I'll see. Never got our seat moved.
No.
So we flew with a towel over our, like the hand towels over our face.
She went back and said the guy in C3 is an ass.
Yeah.
That's what she did.
She was a cat
Yeah.
person.
No, but
herself.
everyone in the place was like, God, my God. So, anyways, those of you that find our rescue cats.
I saw they're changing those rules. They're changing the rules on rescue animals and dog. Like it's only certified dogs now. Like it's not like I need a pug as my therapy dog.
Not a therapy.
No, they're not
This
doing
guy-
therapy.
No, this was just a rescue.
No,
and
the
they were
guy,
bringing it back.
I think it was a guy who actually rescued it from where we were flying out of and was taking it back home.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was like brand new rescue cat, like
Okay.
straight out of the alley.
Right.
So, anyways, what the hell were we talking
You
about?
want to take a break and we can wrangle
No,
this back up?
no. What are we going to talk about when we take a break? When we come back, so we know.
When we come back, we can finish the 1,000-mile ride,
Right.
and live like Bella, and then
we're
what
gonna
he did.
get into the whole. Can we break?
Secretive.
Just say what it is. Polygraph.
Polygraph.
Polygraph. All right, we'll be right back.
Hey guys, are you hungry? If you are, head over to Big Slick's Deli, home of the famous Rugama cookies. Big Slick's Deli is located at 15455 West Dixie Highway in North Miami Beach. If you want delivery, they use Uber Eats and Grubhub. And officers, they've got you taken care of.
We're back.
There he is. There he is. And on the break we were discussing, he was telling me that I suck, and the only reason why I'm famous is because I breakdanced.
Pretty
or not
much.
famous. I'm not even famous. I would say
Infamous?
some people know me
Right.
at the police department.
Okay, yeah.
That's about it.
Everybody's like, if they find out, hey, you're from, our department.
Yeah.
Oh, do you know Nick? And I'm like, yeah, the guy's like, whatever.
He's getting old and
Yeah.
out of shape. He's
Yeah.
he's growing into his radio voice.
Right. Yeah. That's it. Is that why you grew a beard?
Yeah. No offense to Enrique Santos. He's doing video now, so it's good. So, anyways, what were we talking about? Live like Bella.
Live like
we're
Bella?
gonna, finish up. the
Okay,
story.
so basically,
You wrote it down. You rode to Kentucky.
I rode. I rode my I met my goal.
Yeah.
I have to say that my department was outstanding, very supportive. Our command staff was excellent. I got calls from assistant chiefs, deputy chiefs, the chief, and they were like, "Hey, keep going, you got it."
Yeah.
So at any point that I felt like I got injured about a third of the way.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I can't let these people down.
Yeah.
I can't do this. I got to keep going. I got to keep pushing.
Is that when you brought out your electric bike?
No.
Pedal assist?
That is a no-no in the cycling world.
Oh, okay.
And I'll get close to the mic, so I'm emphasizing.
Yeah,
You
okay.
we do not talk to those
What
people.
type of injury was it?
I sprained my quad,
Oh yeah.
and it was just, I'm 52,
Yeah.
so you get injured now, and it's like, oh, that's 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just, good old Ben Gay and some rubbing stuff, and
Did you
just
tighten it up or you left it loose?
left it loose.
Yeah.
Left it loose. Epsom salt bath every
Epsom
night.
salt?
Epsom
Epsom
salt.
salt, yeah,
It's the way to go.
Did you do
man.
cold like ice baths?
No, I wish I could have.
Why?
I mean, well, I jumped in the pool, so but
Sometimes.
when
Sometimes in
yeah.
Florida, depending on when it is. it
depending
might
on
be
when it was. But
hot bath.
Florida is like every hit that week out of the year that is cold.
Dude, right now our pool at the house is 72 degrees.
Right.
I was like, I'm not getting in it.
People up north are like, look at these
yeah,
guys.
you
Yeah.
guys are wimps.
Yeah.
So I finished the ride, and the city, my department did a huge little finale.
Yeah,
they
I
had me
remember,
ride
yeah.
through the red tape, and
Yeah.
they had the media there, and it was really special.
Awesome.
And other than my boys getting hired, as far as police career, one of the proudest moments. It was great.
Nice.
So it was good, and like I said, I raised
Did
a
you
lot
put
of money.
the arms up?
I wanted to.
But you were like,
man.
I don't want to.
So, like, I'm a cycling nerd. I gotta
Yeah,
say it.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I watch like the Tour de France. I
Yeah.
tape it.
Yeah.
I tape
Old
all
school.
the races, and that's one of the things is I thought I was gonna go by. I was gonna unzip, zip up my jersey and go by.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, because if I fall, it's gonna be bad. Oh man. If I fall. And I saw.
But then you can raise more
That's
money.
what I was gonna say. You would have really went viral.
That's true.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, my wife and my daughter
Yeah.
were at the finish line. My daughter and my wife were holding the tape. So I couldn't crash in front of my kid,
Yeah,
I
true,
couldn't
true.
do that. Like other people, whatever. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
so I just went through. But it was nice. It was great.
That's cool.
And also, I just want to add, I had a huge support from the family. My boys, my daughter, my wife, putting up with me, and
Nice.
they were really, really supportive. And towards the end, I'd get cranky and don't talk to me. I got to cycle. And
Yeah.
they were like, okay, just go on your bike and don't talk. But
good.
she was real good and she was real supportive. So I have to give that. Gotta
Will you
give
do
them
it
a
again?
Shout out. Okay,
2,000 miles.
well,
You won't.
I'm thinking I want to do a cross Florida ride.
Ooh. Like across the alley.
Something like that. Maybe start maybe in North Florida and go across to Tampa
Okay.
and do it in one day. It's 167 miles in one part.
Okay.
So I'm still trying to figure it out. Maybe start from our station and go across the alley to Naples or Fort Myers or something like that.
What do you say to some listeners that might want to join you? What do you think? Or you just I'm doing it alone?
Well, man, I cycle Tuesdays and Thursdays
There
at
you
5
go.
a.m. I'm on the key, and more the merrier.
All right, we'll put out your handles later on in the show where they can follow you
Okay.
or DM you or whatever.
Okay.
Contact you, see if
Awesome.
they Want to
Definitely.
ride with you? With that being said, congrats on that ride, man. That's
Appreciate
awesome.
it. I
It's
appreciate
It's a
it.
big
Very
thing,
cool.
and it's cool that you set it's always cool to see things come to fruition. Like you have an idea, you have a plan, and then you do it, and then you had a little adversity. One, the 1,000 miles. Then two, you blew your quad, and then you're still able to complete it. Then your family's there. It must have been awesome.
It was great. And, like I said, it was during the protest.
Yeah.
It was during COVID.
Yeah. So
And
morale was down a little bit.
Morale was down.
Yeah.
And listen, I've been a cop for 23 years. I love what I do. I love serving the community. And I mean that. And a lot of us
Mm-hmm.
are like that. And because of the timing with the protest and everything, people were calling us Nazis. They were
Yeah.
calling us, spitting at us. And,
Yeah.
and it was just
Fuck
like
12.
Fuck 12.
Well, what about 13? That guy's an asshole too.
Yeah. And then, the whole thing with that F12,
Yeah.
with the
Oh,
fuck
sorry.
12.
There it is.
F12, fuck 12.
It just came out. We could bleep it if anything.
Okay. Well, I was just like, man, where did they come up with F12? Like an old person. I thought of the
Yeah.
old TV show.
No, that's
Like,
where it came from.
okay, so
Yeah.
Adam 12
Yeah,
or
one Adam
whatever.
12.
One Adam 12.
Yeah, they were narcotics
but
cops on the
half-
TV show.
Yeah, I remember that. But half the guys I rode with are like, where did they come up with 12? Because
Yeah.
12 for us is lunch.
Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean fuck lunch? No.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it goes back. There's a rapper recently that threw that out there,
Okay.
and he was using it in reference to that TV show. I worked in a high school, so I had to learn that a couple years ago.
Right.
I was like, what the hell
But
are
that's
they
not
talking
that's
about?
not a East. I don't know about East, but Southeast Coast thing. I never heard of that before.
Yeah.
Like I said,
kinda
from
went
the
everywhere.
TV show. Yeah,
Cracker.
like-
I heard cracker.
or 5-0.
5-0,
Yeah.
pig,
whatever.
pig, stuff like that.
Oink,
But-
Well,
oink.
in Dade, they did Bo. It's always been like Bo Brown, right? I think, but that was for Dade County guys
Yeah.
because they
Yeah.
were brown uniforms.
Brown clowns. Oh,
Clowns
can I
and
say
brown.
that?
Well, no, that's what you guys call them.
Oh, that's what we call them.
No.
No.
I love the county.
Absolutely. But they're changing colors anyway, so
Yeah,
they're going to be green and white soon.
green and white
Someday.
So we got to hear a story about the whole thing. So let's wrangle this show into why we're here.
Yes.
So congrats on the ride.
Appreciate it.
Cool stuff, awesome stuff. Maybe next time I'll be there. and watch you ride off.
We'll do that. Yeah,
He'll jog in the bike lane for a second. With a
Well,
selfie
you know what
video
though?
and then leaves.
In your defense, you did reach out to me. I remember.
I did.
And we just couldn't get the timing down. And I
No.
was, I rode in different part. I rode in Naples. I rode in St. Augustine. I
Yeah.
rode in Sarasota.
Yeah.
So I was all over the place, just doing different rides and stuff.
Yeah.
But you did reach out, and I'll remember that.
Are you winking? Because
Yes, I am.
I did reach out to you though, and you
Yes.
said you were busy to come on the show.
Yeah.
So I don't know
I
if you're
was like-
winking. Don't cut to his camera when he's doing that. By the way.
Yeah,
All right.
no, I got
So, so you do 23. You said 23 years, right?
Yes.
Recently, you took on a new path where you're hiring new officers or future officers, or you're sifting through the applications of officers.
I've worked in the recruitment and selection unit for about 13 years.
13 years.
And out of that,
Recently? Did I say
Yeah,
recently?
yeah, you said recently.
Where have I been?
I don't know. What you
Recently, since the early 2000s.
I did see you dancing in the cafeteria one time or in the elevator, but that's about it.
What about as a polygrapher or polygraph examiner? Sorry.
I've been doing polygraphs for about 4 years. I'm going on 4
there
years.
you go. That's what it was.
That's going on 4
Because
years.
somebody was there before you.
Yes.
Yes, and it was a female, right?
Yes.
Okay, so there you go.
Yes.
Recently, you became a polygraph examiner.
Correct.
I'm like, what? Where have I been? So,
Yeah.
but yeah, no. So I was kind of right, kind of wrong.
Sort of.
Yeah. So you're in recruitment and selection.
Yes.
There's a lot of things going on in recruitment and selection with backgrounds and oral boards and all that stuff. But I want to hone in on one part of it,
Okay.
the polygraph exam.
All right.
You are special because not everyone can do a polygraph. Not like you get to the unit. You've been there 13 years, right?
Yes.
And only the last
For
4
those,
years.
I've been doing polygraphs.
So
Correct.
there's something has to happen while you're in there to become that examiner.
Right.
I want to talk about that.
Okay. So the position came available.
Yeah.
And the person that was doing one retired and one was getting promoted, and they knew this was happening. So one of our chiefs, came to me and said, "Mac, I need you to go to polygraph school." And I was like,
I know who it is.
You know who it
Yeah,
is.
but we're not gonna
say any
We're
names.
not gonna say any names.
And I told him no.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Mac, you need to go to polygraph school." So I figured on the second time, I said, "Okay, I'll go."
Yeah.
And it was the best thing I ever did.
Yeah.
To this day, when I see him, I tell him, "Hey, thanks a lot so much. It was great. It's
Yeah.
life changer." But polygraph school is 10 weeks.
10 weeks.
Wow.
It's in Cape Coral, Florida.
Okay.
And basically, it's like going to college.
All right.
And
So polygraph school. So for those that don't know what a polygraph is in layman's terms, is the lie detector test.
yes.
Okay.
It's a lie detector.
So you
test.
go to school 10 weeks, Cape Coral.
Cape Coral, Florida, yes.
Well, when you show up, tell us, walk us through that school,
Oh,
man.
I mean, that's a whole story in itself.
You can
Well,
bullet point it.
Okay, so I show up to the school,
Yeah.
and the school is notorious for being very hard, and people have gone and you have been sent home.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, oh my gosh, if I get sent home from polygraph school, I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of they break it down. It's like going to college, and they
Yeah.
break it down, and you have the physical part with the body, the psychological part, then all kinds of different aspects of polygraph.
Right.
They give it to you like if you're gonna turn on a fire hose and they got all that water coming in your face.
Yeah.
It's loads and loads and loads of information.
Really.
So, and if you're a police officer and I don't know.
So
am
you
I
say
allowed-
they condensed it down to 10 weeks, but it could be easily
it could be
6 months?
Oh, easy.
Easy. Okay.
So generally, police training, a lot of the tests are multiple choice.
Yeah.
And, it's usually how most of our exams are.
Is it A, Michael Jackson, B,
Exactly.
Michael Jordan,
Right.
C, President Bush, or D, Miranda rights? I
Correct.
think
Yeah.
D, Miranda
Right.
rights.
So here I am, and mind you, I'd been out of school for a while, and we go to take our first test, and they hand me a paper, and it's blank. So
Yeah.
I raised my hand, and I said, there's something wrong with my test. There's nothing
Hello.
on here.
We're on a podcast. He's telling us about
Good,
his.
you got a screenshot of that.
Yeah. So
okay.
yeah. So basically, I'm saying, hey, what's going on here?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh no, it's essay.
Essay.
Essay. So needless to say, the following day, the instructor's in front of the class and he's calling out the grades. Rodriguez, 99, good job. Johnson, 98, good job. McCrink, see me after class. I swear it was horrible.
Oh my
I
God.
just, I couldn't get any smaller in my chair and I was like, oh, this is bad, this is bad, this
Yeah.
is bad. So, it was an eye-opening experience.
But you passed.
I passed. I
What was
eventually
the-
passed.
What was the score? Did he tell you? What's the passing grade?
My final score for the final exam, I was like a 97.
But that test,
That was at the end. This was like the very first test,
Yeah.
like the first week, and then
You're not
on
gonna
week
say the
10,
score, are you?
yeah. So no, but basically, I just had to, buckle down and
okay.
remember how to learn again. I guess.
okay.
So
He was letting you know that you had another idea of how this was going to work,
Yeah.
and he needed to put you on the correct
yeah, I
path.
told him.
Yeah.
So I'm that guy with the yellow marker, and I'm highlighting
Yeah,
everything, and
yeah.
they're like, dude, you don't need to highlight everything.
Yeah, the whole. No, I
says-
thought this was coloring
It's
test.
like it's page 9. Oh, highlight it. Whatever. So, but I got through it. It was very tough, and I love it. Polygraph's great. Great.
So you went. So you got the actual exam itself, whatever the machine was or system, because it's on computer now. And then you had the body's physiological responses, like the way you react to
Correct.
it.
Yeah,
So you
so-
had tests on different subjects like that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And then it's
They give you tells. I guess that's physiological, like.
well, we would learn, the book portion, and then
Yeah.
we would do actual polygraphs. The school is close to. There's a college that's close to the school, so they would have college kids come in,
Mm-hmm.
and we would test them on certain. I think we would test them like on drugs and their work history, for example.
Yeah.
So we were hoping that it was nothing that they would commit felonies or
yeah,
something. Something
I
kind of
murdered somebody.
simple.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, funny story. I remember I got all women. I had all women. So here you are with a male, and you're putting the sensors on the females.
Yeah.
And you got to be careful. You can't touch anything.
You see, there's pad. Like, this is how you put the sensors on. You keep doing this.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to do. Once again, I don't know what to do with my hands.
Okay.
So.
All right.
But anyway, so yeah, I did in school. I think I did like 40 practice exams, so to speak.
Wow.
So when I got to the city, I was ready to go.
Yeah.
And it was great training. I do continuing education every 2 years. 40-hour course, and I get updated on all the new fun things with polygraph.
Nice. So 10 weeks, right?
10
That's what
weeks.
he said. And you come back.
And I'm ready to go. Give me a test.
So it's not. So what's the proper? Is it? Because I was like, I wanted to say polygrapher, but that's not the name. It's
Well,
polygraph examiner.
You could say
is it?
polygraph examiner. You could say polygrapher.
Because I looked it up on Google and it's like there's no such word. I was like, what is that?
Well, I go by polygraph examiner.
Yeah, that's what I put.
Yeah.
Eventually, I
So-
was like, all right, polygraph examiner.
Yeah, that's fine.
all right.
Because that's what you're doing. You're
Yeah.
examining the
Yeah.
polygraph.
Okay.
That's it. I'm in charge.
So that's a big portion of the hiring process that
Huge portion. by the way.
eliminates a lot of
Yes.
possible candidates.
Yes. Yes.
So everyone has some kind of fear or
Preconceived notion
preconceived
or
notion or stories. Or
Well,
I
you
like
know-
my polygraph was
One of the biggest things. Did I just talk over you?
no.
Okay. Am I allowed to do that?
You're allowed to. You're the
Okay.
guest.
Oh,
So
okay.
they hear me every week.
That's
Yeah.
true.
You're the guy.
All right.
They want to
So,
hear you.
Here's the thing with polygraphs. If you tell the truth, you're gonna pass,
Yeah.
and that's the God's honest truth.
Yeah.
People talk. People watch TV.
Yeah.
When I see polygraph on TV, like the Fockers, I just shake my head and I said, "Oh, this is not good."
Yeah.
Or stuff like that, or Seinfeld did an episode
Yeah.
on polygraph one time.
Yeah,
and, let's put him on the poly.
Yeah.
Really stop.
Yeah.
But
But that's any kind of cop show or
anything
anything
with cop shows or whatever.
They're going around the corner and they're doing that thing.
Correct.
Like, let's go get
Let's
them.
get 'em.
Who does
Right.
that? Yeah.
So people come in and that's their perception of polygraph.
Yeah.
Another thing that people do is they go on YouTube
Yeah.
and you just Google in this new younger generation. Oh, they'll type in polygraph, how
Yeah.
to beat a polygraph.
Yeah. You
And
suck on a penny. Everybody knows that.
I've had people come in and are trying to beat the test. They want to lie for
Yeah.
whatever reason, and they go like literally straight out of YouTube. Like I'm watching them, and I'm looking at my phone, going, "Oh my God, this is exactly like
The top 5 videos.
Yeah.
You know, like, hey, I got the I know exactly what they're doing.
They have clumps of Vaseline all
You
over
know,
their
oh
eyes.
on their
sipping
hand.
on NyQuil.
They, you know, they'll flex their arm.
They got the
and
tack in their
stuff.
shoe. They're
You know,
stepping on the tack.
I haven't had the tack in the shoe. I suspected it one time.
Yeah.
And I just tell them, take your shoes off. And then now they're done.
Yeah.
You know, if you, and just to put it out there, if you get caught cheating on a polygraph, it's fairly safe to say you will never be a police officer.
Because that's the thing that people don't understand is like you don't have to have a squeaky clean perfect record. The biggest thing is telling the truth, and if they're telling the truth to you and you're like it's a little sketchy as far as what you're describing that happened, but you're telling the truth and I'm seeing that you're telling the truth, I would assume that kind of gives you, if it was on a grading scale, gives you better grades than if you're like holding back and your
Correct.
body is putting off
You
all
know,
those signals.
No, definitely.
Because then you don't know what you're hiding.
The being in backgrounds and I've hired hundreds of people at our department. And the biggest thing is if you tell the truth, you're not going to have any problems. If you did something in the past that you're not sure about, just put it down. Because what happens is if you lie, remember, in police work, we can take someone's civil liberties away.
Yeah.
We
Their
can
life.
put you in jail. And that's a huge responsibility.
Yeah.
So you have to be truthful. You have to be honest.
Yeah.
And that's in every department. So just tell the truth. If it knocks you out this time, you can reapply to another agency. And that's my biggest problem. Not my biggest problem, but I try and talk to young people.
Yeah.
And listen, I've had people that have lied to me and I've caught them in the test. And I tell them, I said, look, you're not going to get hired with us, but you can move forward and apply somewhere else.
Yeah.
And you can tell the truth. And I've helped, you know, I mentioned to you that I coach high school football.
Yeah.
I've got maybe 15 kids that are police officers from Broward to down south and the Central Florida area.
That were high school football.
And all I did is, you know, I told them just tell the truth and deal with it. And sometimes they get, you know what, getting disqualified is part of the process.
Yeah.
I was talking to Justin earlier, and we were talking about, you know, he applied to the bigger agency, he didn't get on.
Yeah.
I applied to the bigger agency, and I didn't get on. And my mom worked there.
Yeah.
You know, so you know it was so. But young kids just need to take a deep breath because they want everything now.
Yeah.
You know, and I hate to sound like my
Totally,
father,
yeah.
but
Amazon,
they want
microwave.
everything right now. I want it now. I want it now. Well,
Yeah.
listen, you're not going to get it now.
Yeah.
But hey, take a deep breath. You can reapply, and now you know what to do.
Yeah. What
And
do you
I-
mean? But clarify that. You know what to do.
People,
Tell the truth.
Oh.
people will lie.
Got excited.
People will lie.
People will lie for the stupidest
Oh,
things.
so you mean I know you? You know what to do, meaning tell the truth.
Correct.
Okay, I got you because that's what I mean. You know what to do, meaning
Well-
like I know to avoid this question.
Well, could I give you? Let me give you an example. The big one that not everybody, but it's a big one.
Yeah.
Drugs,
Yeah.
marijuana.
Mm-hmm. Marahuni.
Marijuana. Yes.
The devil's lettuce. Mary Jane. Yeah. The sticky
Exactly.
icky.
That's it.
Sticky
That's
icky.
it. Where do you come up with that? Where is that?
I don't know.
That's horrible.
All right.
Okay. So anyway, marijuana. It's a hot topic, right?
Yeah.
If you were in high school and you experimented with marijuana, and now you're 23 years old and you're applying to be a police officer, don't lie about your drug usage in marijuana. I mean, your drug usage in high school. Just tell the truth.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost legal. It's going to be legal. In our lifetime, it will
Especially
probably
now,
be
yeah,
legal.
like in the
you
times
know?
when we were getting hired, you know, it was a little more strict and
Correct.
war on drugs and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, and that's, I was totally honest in mine. I happened to be in my friend's car in the back seat, and he pulled up, and some guy ran out, and I'm like, bro, what is happening?
Right.
Like, what is going?
Yeah.
And the guy, and I go, did we just do this? I go, bro, you know I'm applying to be a police
Right.
officer. And like, this was literally like a month before I had my first interview.
Wait.
No.
Wait. Were you buying or were you
No, I
selling?
was sitting in the back seat of a Civic.
I know.
A two-door Civic, so I was trapped.
I got you. But was he buying or was he selling? Were
He
you
was
like
buying.
Oh, okay.
He
It
was
like,
buying.
Justin,
Yeah.
lift up your seat and grab this brick for me.
Yeah,
What is
bro,
this? I don't
what
even know what I'm
I don't
doing
know
right
what's
now.
going on.
No.
But you know what? So it's funny that you said that, Justin, because that's a good example of someone that would go through the process and something minor like that they would lie about. And then when they go to take the polygraph exam,
Yeah.
you know, they're going to think about that incident and they're going to fail.
Yeah.
You know, or they're going to show deception indicated.
Right, and all nervous, and then
That
Throw it right
that
out.
makes complete sense.
You know, so
because I had little things that you're like, well, have you ever broken the law? And I'm like, I've never broken the law. But wait a minute, there was that time I did a legal U-turn, and you start thinking about other shit, and then all of a sudden it's like, the machine starts frying, bzz, 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 and you're a liar.
so
it spits
okay.
out a little piece of paper that says you're a liar.
Yeah,
Right.
no, this little guy comes out from underneath.
Liar.
Liar.
No,
Like a
no.
machine.
So basically, like, the polygraph is only as good as the examiner. Okay. And this is all I do. The department that I work at says, hey, we invested a lot of money on you. We send you to training. This is all you do.
You're like a racehorse,
Yes.
thoroughbred.
Yes.
If you pull your quad, they're gonna put you down, man.
That's it. I'm done. I'm
gonna
done.
put you down.
I'll be in the back barbecuing at the front gate. But anyway, so to you know, I mentor, like I said, I coach football and I mentor young people and I just tell them, just tell the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The test that we use in our department is made to help the truthful person pass.
Yeah.
And, you know, like I said, with this younger generation, just tell the truth. Hey, you may not get it the first time, but you'll get it the second time. I know for myself, it took me 3 times before I got hired. I used to drive fast, and my traffic was horrible.
Same here.
Yeah.
And they kept saying, hey, you know, you're a great candidate, but stop speeding on the turnpike.
What kind of car did you drive?
That's not important. It was a Toyota Corolla, okay?
You had a rice burner.
And it was stick, you know?
So you had the Fast and Furious neon lights underneath.
Yeah, anyway. So, but, you know, so just my best advice for people when they're going to take a polygraph is just tell the truth. And if something happens and you don't get hired because you did lie and you admitted it or they found out about it or whatever, when you reapply to another department or even that same department, you can be truthful.
Did they go back and look?
Yes, we all speak to each other.
Okay.
That's another thing. In the polygraph world,
Everyone knows.
we're all geeks. We're all polygraph geeks. We're all on a huge network. We speak daily. I speak
chat.
to polygraph examiners in California, Boston, New York, all over.
If I applied somewhere, I failed the polygraph. I applied to agency X,
Right.
Whatever. At agency X, they ask me, "Have you ever applied to another police agency?" So if I say, "Yeah, I applied to Joe's agency," then X will call Joe and check up.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
We'll do that regardless.
Okay.
When
What do you mean, but if I never told you, how
we
much
check all departments.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because people will say, "Oh,
I never
I've
did."
never applied."
Yeah.
And people get disqualified. I mean, I know we're getting off the topic of polygraph, but as far as getting hired, just tell the truth because our resources are huge. Our arms go everywhere. We go to the West Coast, we go to the North, we go south, we go out of state, and it's simple as sending an email.
So
and we all talk to each other.
And there might be different thresholds for different police departments. For
Correct.
instance, if I'm a smaller agency, I have 2 open slots. Well, I'm looking for a lot out of this person, you know, and I'm not gonna let a little bit slide. You need to be A++. And I'm not saying we have lower, but our threshold might be a little or a larger agency that has to hire 800 people.
Correct.
You might be able to get by with a little bit. Say,
absolutely.
We can overlook that little part, that little aspect.
Right. Our department, recently as 6 years ago, we were hiring maybe 125, 150 people a year.
Wow. Yeah.
Now that number has dwindled a lot, so now we can be a lot more selective of who we pick.
Yeah.
And not just drugs. It could be traffic. It could be credit. It could be work history.
Yeah.
And basically, when we do a polygraph, you come in, 90% of the test is me talking to the person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're only on the actual hooked up to the sensors for, I can tell you right now, you do a practice test, which is about 5 minutes. And then you have test A and test B, and each test is 7 minutes long. So you're only, that's 14, 19, 21 minutes that you're actually hooked up to the, and there's no needles in polygraph, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Just to let you
it's
know.
now the
Not anymore now.
It's
It's
now the
all on.
computer.
It's all on the computer.
So and I just want to rewind because we hired a lot of people, but it's no walk in the park. Any hiring agency, the polygraph is just one element of what you need to do. Background,
Correct. You have to take a
psychological,
physical agility.
So it ain't like we were looking the
Panel
other way and
interviews.
say, yeah, everyone just come on in
Right.
trying to fill.
No, it's
really
very
hard.
it's very like people get disqualified and they don't understand it but I tell people, look, if you're honest and you're truthful, you will get hired eventually. You
Yeah.
know. And sometimes a background investigator may have, 10, 15 people that he's working on. And if, let's say, there's something minor in your file, they move to the next person.
Yeah.
And then they'll come back or what have you. So
I remember sitting down at my polygraph and I was already nervous, and
polygraph does not record nervousness.
Yeah, but
that is a myth.
The polygraph examiner is like, sit down. It was a female before you became the examiner. Sit down. I was like, okay. No, turn your chair towards the wall. I was like, okay. So I'm looking at the wall, and I'm sitting there. They're like, why aren't you looking at me? So, ma'am, you told me
Right.
to look at the wall.
Like I said,
Yeah.
the polygraph is only as good as the examiner.
Yeah.
Every examiner has their own style.
Yeah.
Quick story. I started
When
doing...
we get back from the break.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
good?
When we
Okay.
get back from the break.
We're gonna get back from the break.
Yeah.
I don't want to cut you off.
That's
take a
fine.
break.
But we need to take a break.
Be right back.
Do it.
Donut shop needs
And
money.
we need to get the polygraph machine out so we can put them on.
Just don't ask about my search history.
You got it.
Oh, welcome back to another challenging episode of the Mug Puns. You've got 3 seconds to guess that pun.
Yeah, meet me right here, fool. I got a pound on me right now. Hey, you sure you're not a cop, man? You sound like a cop, eh? Oh, snap, man. I know you were la policía.
Turn around. Put your hands on your head.
I swear, man, this is a setup. You caught me with all this weight. I say,
What are you, some kind of dealer?
I am, officers. And if you like that one, you should go to dollarchoppodcast.com. You can get a lot more there, I say.
Okay. Thanks.
Officers! You forgot the beans!
Catch you on the next episode of Dumb Mug Puns.
If you're a winner in today's episode, please head over to donutshopodcast.com where you can collect your prize. All prizes to be paid for by today's winners.
And sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. You were about to tell a story. We'll get to that story after this portion of the podcast.
Okay.
The interview and interrogation. This is where I put on my trooper hat. Shout out to Lieutenant Camacho of FHP. He gave me this trooper hat. Actually, it's his first trooper hat.
Oh, that was nice.
Yeah, so he was on the show. You should watch it. So anyways, he gave me this hat. It's a little more intimidating. I ask you questions. I poll the audience. Audience responds. We ask you questions. I usually go to Justin first because I'm not prepared.
Okay.
So he usually buys me time. But I'm prepared this time.
All right, let's do
Prepared
it.
for you.
I'm ready.
All right, and they all revolve around polygraph, believe it or not. Actually, there's one that's not polygraph, and I'll ask you that one last. Here we go. This comes from Tyler Phobian. How about that?
Wow.
Shout out to Tyler Phobian on Instagram. Why don't people use polygraphs to figure out if someone's guilty of a crime?
They do. You have criminal polygraphs and you have pre-employment polygraphs.
So that's a thing.
Polygraphs are admissible in court.
Yes.
That's a myth.
Oh, see, I didn't know
They
that.
are, if both sides agree to it,
Yeah.
it can be used in court, and it's used a lot, believe
Okay.
it or not.
Sweet. That was short.
That was easy.
Simple to
Let's
the point.
go. Bring it. Let's
Next
do it.
question.
All right. B. Brian Castillo says, I feel like I will be nervous in general when taking this test. How will it know the difference?
Well,
It.
the examiner will know the difference.
Oh.
And part of coming in, and like I mentioned before, the actual exam is only 27, 28 minutes long. The interview process, if I see somebody that's really nervous, I talk to them. Hey, where'd you go to high school? Hey, are you married? Do you have any kids? And I try and bring them down.
Schmooze them.
I schmooze them, and I
schmooze
talk to them.
Yeah.
And that kind of settles them down, and they realize that, hey, this guy is just a normal person, and I won't give a test until I see that they've come down.
Okay. And we're gonna talk about the science behind it and what the polygraph is actually looking for.
Okay.
But thank you for answering that question.
You got it.
Here's another one.
All righty.
This one comes from Batman Gibby.
Oh, I was just reading that one. I like this one.
1124. Batman Gibby 1124 says, "Is it true, if taken correctly, valerian root can assist in lying during a polygraph exam?" Dun, dun, dun.
Valerian root?
That's right, homie. We said valerian root.
Okay.
It comes out of Valeria.
Valeria? Is that like a narcotic or a drug or
I
something?
thought that was an STD, but
Right.
Valerian root.
valerian root. How about any substance, anything can help you defeat the polygraph?
I think valerian root was in Harry Potter.
Oh,
No,
really?
it's a stress reliever. Valerian
so
root
it's a drug.
is a perennial flower plant native to Europe and Asia. In the summer, it can mature.
That's
All right.
why we have them on the computer, man.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you have, I've had people that have taken Xanax or
Oh
some
my
type of
Yeah.
narcotic or whatever.
What's your name? My name's
Yeah.
Brian.
I mean, like I said, yeah.
Put a dart in your neck.
You know, one other thing that's special about myself and what I do is I meet you from the get-go.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll meet you at the physical agility test. I
Yeah.
meet every candidate that walks through there.
Yeah.
I'll see you at orientation.
Boom.
I do an open session where I answer questions about the whole process.
Yeah.
And from that point, I'm analyzing, I'm looking at people, and I'm getting their general characteristics. If you come in and you're hazy or you just don't sound right, I won't test you.
Is this the polygraph?
Yeah,
You feel
exactly. Yeah.
Well, you got to come back. I'm good.
Yeah. So that's pretty much my call.
All right. So
So you're not
there's-
beating the machine, you would be beating me.
Okay. So even though it can affect the way that you feel, you still have to sit there and answer questions and talk to people. And if you come in your head, you're like, I got this.
Right.
I'm speaking so clearly, but that sentence was
Right, exactly.
so clearly.
Remember, I'll interview, we'll talk
Yeah.
for an hour, hour and a half.
And you're looking for that.
Absolutely.
All right. Sounds good. You got it?
Yeah, I got one. With a repeat offender over here, M. Ballerini 55.
Yeah, he's an Italian
and,
basketball player.
Yeah, what I was actually trying to figure out, I know I read it twice from two different people, so I wanted to give somebody else a shout out. I'll do it maybe when you finish it. But have you ever had a case where someone was telling the truth, but the results were a lie?
Yes, it does happen. Polygraph is not 100%. Okay? And I mentioned I mentioned earlier that if you do things a certain way, polygraph is 98% accurate.
Okay.
The police departments are willing to say, hey, we want the truthful person. And if it means that we have to sacrifice 2%
Yeah.
to get that truthful person, that's acceptable. The FBI, for example, they'll sacrifice a higher number because they don't want a liar. They don't want that terrorist in their organization.
Yeah.
So they'll lose people that could have possibly been telling the truth, but they want to get the truthful person.
Okay.
So does that make sense?
Yeah, so they fail, but there's a percentage they might be telling the truth. However, in this case, it's like, no, we're not even worrying about that 2%.
Exactly.
You
Now,
go.
with myself, because I'm fortunate that all I do is polygraphs, I go back and I review all of my exams. Have people beaten me? Yes. We had a case not that long ago where I passed somebody and they went to take the drug test for their, they got hired. They went to take their drug test with the for their physical, and they popped positive.
Yeah.
So they brought it up to me. My major brings it up to me and says, hey, you passed this person.
You're
but,
slipping.
Yeah.
What happened? And I said, I'll be right back. And I went back. Everything's recorded, and I missed the signals. I made a mistake.
Yeah.
Once again, polygraph is science. Polygraph doesn't make the mistake.
Yeah.
I make the mistake.
Okay.
So it's, it's a give and take.
Oh, so that when you reviewed it, you were like,
Oh, darn.
there it is.
Shit. But it's a learning situation. I learned from it.
Okay.
So shout out to Dom 1996-97. So 1996-97 also said, how often are there false positives? So kind of similar along that.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like I said, it's a tool.
Yeah.
Polygraph is a tool. And I try and do the best job that I can because it's, I don't want to fail someone that's telling the truth.
Jay, can I take the last two?
Sure.
Just to knock it out real quick, because I want to get to the science and all that stuff behind it. Quick story: the worst or funniest liar.
The worst.
One that you're just like, wow, like you didn't want to, like you wanted to turn the machine off and be like, all right, man. Or
You mean like just stop?
Yeah,
Stop
yeah.
talking.
Yeah.
Stop talking.
Stop.
Enough.
Stop
Enough.
it. Stop it. Shh.
What's your name, Chris? I mean, Danny. I mean, like
Well,
failed the.
without mentioning any names.
Yeah, don't say any names.
I've had.
You can even say it's a hypothetical situation. You might have,
Okay.
may or may not have had.
Hypothetically,
You may or may not have had.
I've had a wife tell me about an affair.
All right, we'll just end it at that.
Dun, dun,
I don't want to get into those weeds.
So that was
Well,
one.
you don't know if she got hired or not.
I didn't say that. I didn't say she got hired or whatever, and I
Yeah.
didn't say, but
That's it.
That's it.
All right.
That's it.
Next question. Move
All
on.
right.
Move on.
A lot
rapid
of nervous,
fire.
a lot of nervous
a
husbands.
lot of
out there.
a lot of nervous
Like,
cops
no,
right now
Let
going.
him answer the question. All right. Last question by. Oh, that was by Frank Is. Frank IIIZ. Frank Is. All right. Last question by IH0727. How much does he love the football team?
Wow.
I was gonna throw that
Oh.
What kind of shirt you wearing there?
I'm
God
wearing
Country
my
and
God Country Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
I am a Notre Dame fan stuck living in Miami, Florida.
Yikes.
Wow.
That's
I don't.
just- somebody asked that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't.
You're just asking the
I'm
question.
just asking a question.
Oh, okay. Well, I
I
don't like UM.
no.
And I love Notre Dame, and I'm
Yeah.
a true Notre Dame fan. My stepfather was from Fort Wayne, Indiana, and got me hooked up, and I started watching Notre Dame football in like '86.
Nice.
And I've been a fan since. And I coach football. I have friends that I have kids that I've coached that actually played for UM. So in that case, I have to make an exception.
Yeah.
I know a couple of the coaches there,
You
but
just don't like the ideology.
Have you cried during or after the movie Rudy?
you always cry during the movie.
Okay, I just
Okay.
wanted to make sure. I just
Listen,
wanted to make sure
if
you are
you-
human.
If you guys are upset with his answer, please do not dislike this video. Just go into the comment section.
I met Rudy, by the
and
way.
talk.
Did you?
Yeah, I met Rudy.
Yeah.
The Rudy, or
Rudy,
you met
the real,
Baggins,
no, the real Rudy
Baggins.
Rudiger.
No.
Yeah, I met him at
Samwise Gimsey.
Yeah, so like I'm a Notre Dame nerd.
Yeah.
A few years back, my wife sent me to Notre Dame football fantasy camp.
Did you go
I
to his
paid
house
money,
and knock
and
on
he was there. I met Lou Holtz.
Okay.
I met Era Parseghian. It was great. It was an awesome experience.
Yeah.
It cost a lot of money, but my wife did that for me. She's
you
a trooper.
have a tat.
I have.
Any Irish fighting?
Yes,
Irish
I do.
tats? Okay, then you're hardcore.
Yes, I do.
You're hardcore.
Yes, I
Do
do.
you really wish Brady Quinn had made it in the NFL?
Yes. And I just recently met Brady Quinn last year at an Orange Bowl event.
Oh, hey,
Really nice guy. He's doing the TV announcing stuff.
Good looking fella.
Yeah, he's a pretty guy.
Congratulations on that awkward last comment. You have survived the interview.
Okay,
interrogation.
now I'm nervous for some reason.
No. You survived, man. Congratulations.
That's it. Awesome.
Yeah, we're going to take a break. We'll be
All
right
right.
back, and let's get into it.
You got it.
What's up, everybody? Hey, it's Justin. Wanted to thank you. You guys have been huge. Blackout Coffee let us know that you've been killing it over there on our website. Thank you very much. They've even offered a new code for us. It's DSP20. That's going to get you 20% off your order. So DSP20 is going to grab you 20% your re-up of your coffee now that you're probably finished with that first bag. So go over to our website, donutshoppodcast.com, or hit up blackoutcoffee.com to get your 20% off with DSP20. Thanks. Now back to the show.
We're back.
Yeah, we're back.
And we're back. Last segment.
Okay.
Man, it's flying. Time is flying. If you're listening in the car, at home, if you're watching on YouTube, I believe time is flying. They're probably like, man, this episode is taking forever.
Yeah, they're like, get rid of this guy already.
All right, so polygraph. Let's get into it.
Okay.
There's different types that agencies use. There's one I know of called the voice stress test.
Voice stress analyzer.
Yeah. So and then there's the one that we do, which is called the.
Just a regular polygraph.
And is there anything else?
No. That's it.
Okay.
That's what most agencies use.
So can you just touch on the voice stress test?
Well,
What it is?
the voice stress okay, in the polygraph world, polygraph people don't like the VSR.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what we call it. And in my opinion,
Yeah.
it's a tool.
Yeah.
And if you have the person that's administering the test, if he's sharp and on point,
Or she.
or she, whatever,
Yeah.
it's a great tool. Polygraph is a tool. That's
Yeah,
all it is.
that's all it is.
So if you have an examiner that he's lazy or whatever and just doesn't care, you're not going to get a good test. But if you have somebody that cares and really takes the time to work with you and make sure you understand all the questions, then, it's as good as the examiner.
All right. So voice stress test. You go in there. More or less starts out the same. Just the way that they're seeing your reaction is different.
Yes.
So you're gonna get the same control questions.
Pretty much, yes.
Okay. So we know that's the same. The instruments are different.
Right.
Can we just say what that instrument is, and then we'll go into
As far as the voice stress?
Yeah. What do they do?
Well, the voice stress is basically you're hooked up to a computer and you're asked a set of questions, and then they just the way you react to the questions, it gets registered, and then they compare the two.
Yeah,
So-
when
and
I,
it-
when
and it
I
goes
did it,
by
I
your
did it when I was
voice?
in college. It was just a microphone.
A microphone.
Because
right.
they're just analyzing your voice.
Where your
Right.
modulation.
I guess cracks in your voice and different.
I'm not gonna lie to you because I do polygraphs.
Yeah, you're
I'm not VSR
Okay.
certified.
That's fine. Okay. I
But
just wanted to know because
That's a general. I mean, and you can do your research on that, just like you could do your research on polygraph.
Yeah.
It's I'm not gonna sit here and bash VSR. I'm just gonna say it's a tool,
Yeah.
and it's only as good as the person giving the exam.
Yeah. I've done my research. I know if you suck on a penny before you take. I know all that stuff.
Okay, if you suck on a penny before you take a polygraph exam,
You're gonna pass
choke
for
on the penny, and then I'm gonna call rescue, and then I'm gonna be like, he was sucking on a penny. I swear to God, I didn't beat him.
So we know that's a voice stress test. Some agencies use that.
Correct.
In order to hire. Do you know of any that use both or just?
Some do both. Some will
Really?
do the VSR first and then the polygraph.
Wow.
Just be extra careful.
Most of the agencies use polygraph. There
Yeah.
are, off the top of my head, I can think of like 3 or 4.
Is there anybody that doesn't use any kind of polygraph?
Oh, that's a good question.
You're not
That
sure.
is a good question.
All right, so we'll leave it at that. But that's interesting to know if there's
They
anybody.
just use Russian roulette. They're just like, if you don't shoot yourself,
remember,
you get the job.
no, polygraph is a tool.
Yes.
And it is not mandatory by FDLE.
Okay.
To get hired as a police officer.
Sounds good. So that's the voice stress test. Now
Correct.
let's talk about the polygraph test.
Okay.
Walk me through. I'm a candidate. What am I supposed to do? What am I going to do? What do I expect?
Okay, so you're gonna come in,
Yeah.
and you're gonna fill out more paperwork.
Okay. Paperwork is what?
You're gonna fill out a packet.
Yeah.
And it's basically gonna ask you questions that you've already been asked before.
Yep.
And we're looking for consistency.
Okay.
Okay.
Is it a large packet?
It's 10 pages.
Yeah.
It's like 10 pages. So I want to say it's in the 40s, something
Yeah.
like that, 40, 45 questions.
It's really to prepare you for police work. It's all paperwork.
Well, the reason why I say is because I did apply at another agency, and I remember I got DQ'd. Can you get DQ'd on what you answered pre-polygraph, even if you pass it?
Can you get
DQ'd?
DQ'd?
Disqualified.
You can get disqualified.
And the reason why I say is because they said, "Have you ever sped over 100 in the pre?" I remember the pre questions, and I was like,
Right.
"Yeah."
Well, remember, for my department,
Yeah.
when you come to take a polygraph, you've already done your personal history questionnaire,
Yeah.
which is a huge packet,
Yeah.
more than 50, 60 pages.
Yes.
Then you've already taken your psychological, where you fill out another packet. And so by the time you come to me, you've already filled out paperwork on 3 different portions of the background process.
So if you answered yes on those, you better answer yes on this one.
Correct.
Okay,
And
okay.
if it was something that was going to disqualify you, you wouldn't be
make it to your level.
You wouldn't make it to my level.
I got you. Because
Okay.
there's tiers.
Correct.
Weeding out, filtration
Right.
systems.
Now, if you lied on all 3 of those previous ones, and then I find out that you're lying,
that's your filtration system.
exactly.
All right. So I get there, fill it out. Now what?
I'm gonna speak to you.
Okay.
Usually, and like I said, I'm only speaking from my department.
Yeah.
I pick you up in the elevator. We'll chit chat. Usually, I'll have a cup of coffee, and I'm drinking my coffee.
Yeah.
And we're just talking, and I'm gonna ask you questions about your past, and to try and get to know you, so to speak.
Yeah.
Where'd you go to high school?
Yeah.
Do you have any children? Are you married? Why do you want to be a police officer?
Are you being Joe or are you being polygraph?
Oh, that's a good
Examiner.
question, dude.
Yeah.
I'm being myself.
Yeah, because you're a very
Listen,
likable guy. You could talk.
Right.
But
And well, here, listen, it's not an act,
yeah.
and if I'm lying to you,
Yeah.
I'm going to come across like I don't care.
Yes.
So I try and find a connection
Yeah.
that we both have. Where'd you go to high school, Nick?
I went to high school at Cooper City High School. I'm a cowboy. I played baseball.
Okay.
Played
wow,
sports.
Really? You played sports?
I
Wow.
played sports,
Hey,
man.
Nick, I coach high school football. That's kind of cool. Cooper City Cowboys.
I just want to admit something. I was completely lying about everything I just said. I never played baseball.
Right. That's horrible.
And you walk me out of the elevator, you hit ding, and go down to the lobby and walk me back out. Is that what happens?
Well, no, but here's the thing. I've already done my research on you,
And
so I would already catch that. I've
Yeah.
already looked at your high school diploma.
Yeah.
I've already looked to see who you know, your references. So I'm already prepared. Every test I'm
Right,
prepared.
you're not just like walking
Yeah.
in, just like next.
No,
Okay.
no.
For the record, I did play baseball all the way into college, but I just wanted for the joke
Right.
purposes.
I think you're lying.
Yeah. So
that was a long time
so
ago.
as you're talking, you're reading this person, right?
Remember, I've already done research on them.
Yeah.
So as they come in, I mean, listen, most people are going to tell the truth.
Yeah.
My pass rate is a lot higher than my fail rate. And I tell you, hey, I'm here to help you pass.
Yeah.
And I'm going to help you pass this test, but you got to tell the truth. I can't make you tell the truth. And I go through my spiel, my script, so to speak, but I'm talking as Joe McCrink.
It's like the episodes of First 48. Like, man, just say the truth,
Well,
man.
you know,
and we're
you-
going to help you.
you put
and then
the-
they go to wait for life.
Right. You put the picture. I noticed you put the picture of me and I'm wearing a bow tie.
Yeah.
When I do a polygraph, I take my tie off and I tell the person that comes in, hey, if it looks uncomfortable, because you'll see people and they're like this and they can barely breathe.
Yeah.
Take your tie off.
Yeah.
Relax. Take your jacket off.
Okay. And what's the purpose of that?
To calm down, to not let them be nervous.
Okay. And that helps you with the exam?
Well, it helps them.
Okay.
It helps them. And it helps them to be, listen, when they see that, hey, man, this guy, he's a nice guy. He coaches football.
Yeah.
It's not Joe McCrink, the cop. It's just Joe McCrink.
So so you talk to them.
I'm
for
building
a
a rapport.
Yeah.
How does that sound?
No, that's perfect.
Okay.
Because I'm trying to get to the next step. So now the rapport is good, but it's game time. So have a
Okay.
seat, right?
So we've gone through the whole.
Filling out the questionnaire.
They filled out the questionnaire.
Talking.
I'm building my rapport,
Mhm.
and now I have a list of questions that I'm going to ask you.
Are they
Okay?
random or that you're
It's
predetermined?
Nope. They're the same questions that we ask everybody. Everybody
Okay.
takes the same test.
All right. Okay.
But if I've seen a red flag in your file, I'll focus more on certain questions. I don't want to get into all the
No.
questions,
I just-
but for example, we'll talk about your work history.
Yeah.
We'll talk about domestic violence. We'll talk about your drug usage, your credit, and so forth. And if there's something in there that I feel that I need to focus on, I'll focus more in on individual questions.
Okay.
This is before you're even hooked up.
Yeah.
This is when you're just sitting in the chair and we're talking.
Okay.
It's Joe talking to Nick.
All right. So then now, you said hooked up.
Okay,
What's
so-
that? What's that?
So after we've done that, and I've gone through my questionnaires with you, I'm going to give you a practice test. So I'm going to put the polygraph instruments on your body, so to speak.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're going to have a blood pressure cuff put on.
Okay.
Measures your heart rate.
That's the thing that they go.
Blood pressure,
They
just
pump-
like at the hospital when
Okay.
you go to check your blood
Okay,
pressure.
I got you.
Hence, it's called a blood pressure cuff.
I'm just trying to break it down.
I got you.
Okay.
Sorry.
I made the noise.
And there, you're gonna get sensors on your fingers.
Okay. What's that for?
You have a one sensor measures your blood pulse volume.
Okay.
Okay, just like when you go to a hospital, they put that little scoopy thing on your finger.
I got you.
A pulse
Scoopy.
oximeter, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Wow.
Wow, very good. We got a
flux
smart guy.
capacitor.
Yeah,
I got one in my watch.
there you go. I have one too. Yeah, because we have heart problems.
Yeah.
So, and we'll put sensors that measure your sweat glands.
Sensors.
We put the sensors on the fingers.
Right.
So we have your blood pressure. We're following your heart rate. We're following your sweat glands. We're following your blood pulse that go to your fingers. And we have motion sensors. That's for the guys that want to put the tack in your shoe. Yeah, don't do it, because then you're going to get blood all over my floor. And I got to clean it up. So, and that's it. That's
Okay.
it. And then we start the exam. You'll get a practice test first,
Yeah.
which is just we call it the numbers exam, and I ask you to lie on a certain question.
Really?
Yeah.
What is that like? What's your name? And I say Chris. instead of Nick?
It's a numbers test. So I'm gonna make you. There's gonna be a board, and it's gonna have 1, 2, 3. 3 is blank, and then 4, 5. I'm gonna say fill in the missing number.
Okay.
Right. So you'll write the number 3. And then I'll test you. Okay, regarding the number you wrote, was it the number 1? Was it the number 2?
Yeah.
Was it the number 3?
Okay.
3 is the one that you lied on.
Okay.
And it's just basically done to get you comfortable, used to hearing my tone of voice.
All right.
And this is all explained to you. The polygraph examiner is going to explain everything to you.
Yeah.
Every step of the way.
No secret sauce.
There's
here.
no secret. No,
Yeah.
it's
No lies.
There's no lies. And the test is designed. Remember, I'm here to help the truthful person pass.
Right.
I'll catch the liar, and then we'll deal with that later.
Yeah.
But we want the truthful person to pass.
Okay. So there's a machine. It's not a machine. It's a laptop now.
Correct.
Everything.
There's no paper.
So it's like this.
It's just a normal laptop.
And you
There's no
hook up.
paper. There's no ink.
Okay. So that
the older guys.
Meet the Fockers.
Right. That's outdated.
Out. Gone.
And it's funny because it's a joke in the polygraph world. Like
Yeah.
the older guys, they'd have ink on their fingers or on their shirt.
Yeah.
But that's all. That's
Right, it's like spraying
yeah.
all over the place.
I actually
Somebody's
have one of those in the office, and
Yeah.
I break it out and look at it and go, wow.
I think for one video we did for a hiring video, we came in and asked
Yes.
to borrow it.
Yes.
And we used it, and it didn't work, but we had to move the needles ourselves.
Right? No, it actually works.
Oh well, the one that we used, maybe
Yeah.
we threw that one out.
I think one of our chiefs has it. The one that works.
So does the machine make noise like beep
Nope,
beep
nope,
beep beep
nope.
beep?
It's
No?
totally quiet.
Okay.
It's totally quiet. And
Because that would freak people out if that machine started beeping as they're saying.
So after we do the practice test,
Right.
the polygraph examiner is going to give the applicant every question that's on the exam.
Okay.
So it's not like I'm going to surprise you with a question in the middle of the exam.
Yeah.
You're going to know every question and every answer, and I go over it with you.
Yeah.
And before I move to the next step, I'll be like, Nick, do you understand all the questions? Yes.
Do people be like, all right, time out. Sir, I'm just so sorry right now. I'm just like really, really nervous, and they stop like mid-test. You ever had that?
I won't test you if you're that nervous.
Okay.
If you can't get your composure together
Yeah.
and you can't sit still and you can't, just stay calm, I won't test you and I'll keep talking to you. I've done tests that are 5 hours long for pre-employment.
Sweat, like,
yeah,
all over
and
the shirt,
and to be genuine, I tell people, I go, look, I want you to pass. I'll do whatever it takes for you to pass.
Yeah.
You have to tell the truth. I'll do my job. If it means we have to sit here and talk about life and talk about whatever it is you need to talk about,
Yeah.
we'll do that.
Okay.
And eventually they'll calm down.
All right. Well, that's interesting as far as that. And then once the test goes off, do you tell them the results right away? Do you know right away that? Like, man,
that's
this-
another good question, Nick. Man, you're surprising me.
Sorry, man.
You're not all just looks.
I'm not all just breakdancing
So,
moves, man.
yeah,
I know
that's right.
I know how to ask some questions here and there.
Okay, so we follow a guideline. We follow the American APA, American Polygraph Association. It's not required. I do it.
Yeah.
And the reason why I do it is I mentioned to you I have kids that went through the whole process, and
Yeah.
and I remember them going through the process, and it's stressful. So listen, if I can tell you, hey, you passed or failed, and that alleviates a little stress out of your life, I will tell you. I for myself, and like I said, this is what I do for my department. I give them my business card,
Yeah.
and I just say, text me at 5:00. And if you pass, I'll put pass. If you failed, I'll put fail. It's not a discussion.
So
it's
why
not
do
a
you wait?
debate.
Why do you have to look at some? things? Like you can't tell as it's going on?
I can have a general feel of if the test is a pass or fail, but see, polygraph is based on science, and I mentioned that to you before. So
Right.
I have to follow a guideline, and it takes me a little bit of time.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can do it quicker than others, or if it's a long test, because I'm taking extra time and I do have somebody waiting, you know, I don't want people waiting out there.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Okay, so you have somebody else behind you. You're not
yeah.
going to go start.
Normally, I'll do 3 polygraphs a day, and that's it.
Okay. And your pass fail rate?
I want to say 95% of my people pass.
Nice.
I have about less than 1% where it's called an inconclusive test.
Yeah.
And that's where I just can't get a good reading on them.
You bring them back, or how does that work? Are
We bring them back and they take another test.
Where does it fall in like the range of the hiring process? Like usually, just a couple steps before you get to the polygraph.
You know, different departments do it differently. Ours is the last step. After the polygraph, then the background investigators are going to really dig into your work history and your past and so forth.
I mean, so part of that, the pass rate is also based on the fact that a lot of the candidates may have been weeded out through the other parts of the process.
Correct.
Prior to getting
Correct.
to it.
psych and all that stuff?
Yes. Yeah, and that's a whole different ballgame. But, you know, like I said, and I said it before, I firmly believe the test is only as good as the person giving the test.
All right. So I think that as far as when it comes to polygraph, I think we hit all corners. Is there anything that we missed that we're not thinking of?
No, I think you pretty much covered it.
So when you retire,
Yes.
are you going to be the guy that does the Jerry Springer ones?
Yeah.
You are the father.
Maury Povich.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
and that was a lie. What do you think?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
No.
That'd be a good business. Can you open up your own private company now that you're certified to do things? Like, I think my husband's cheating on me. I think my
Right.
wife's cheating on me.
Those tests are,
Those are the
believe it or
best.
not, it's a lot of money in those tests.
Yeah.
The problem with those tests are the husband or the wife,
They don't want to take it.
they'll offer a bribe to the polygraph examiner that, hey, listen, you know, I'm cheating on my wife. I
Yeah.
need to pass. Here's an extra $5,000. You know, so, you
That's
know,
serious.
you know, so myself,
Sounds
I
like
don't
a
want
cash cow to me.
I don't want, yeah, I don't want to put myself in that situation.
Okay, well, touche, my good
Yeah,
friend.
but well, you know what? A lot of fishing tournaments. You know how
yeah.
they use polygraph.
Oh,
you know,
Yeah,
like
because you're out there on your own.
you're out there on your own. They'll use it. In pre-employment, sex offenders have to take polygraphs. It's part of their probation. So
You
it's
can
part
kinda
of their.
work a
it's-
private company, but work for other industries.
Yeah, I mean, I've been approached to go to other departments to do polygraphs, but I'm in the drop program with the city of Miami,
which is phenomenal.
which is great, and I
Yeah.
love it. So I still have 5 more years in the drop. So I don't plan. And I made a promise to my. Remember, I mentioned there was a staff member that said, "Mac, you got to take a polygraph. You got to go to polygraph."
yeah.
I made a promise to him I would do it till I retired.
Nice. Well, this has been fascinating.
Awesome.
At the least, I'm sure the audience is going to be very excited,
Yeah.
and they should be listening all the way to the end. If
I
they're-
hope so.
If they're
I-
motivated, dedicated.
You know,
they need to be listening. all the way to the end.
We talked about the Live Like Bella.
Yes.
So I brought coins
Yeah.
for Justin and
I saw
yourself.
this sitting here.
And then, you know, I brought an extra coin for you if you want to give it out to one of your followers or something like that.
Oh, for sure.
For-
First giveaway on the donut shop.
Yeah.
Is it? Wow. So, you know, that's for yours. That's for
Okay.
you. And Justin has one, and then you can give one to one of your listeners.
Nice. So we're gonna do. If you head over to our Instagram, we're gonna do a giveaway for the challenge coin, the Live Like Bella challenge coin. One side, Live Like. We'll do the whole description up on the post.
Yeah.
But Live Like Bella on one side, and the other side, you got Joe riding solo.
Solo.
1,000
miles.
COVID year, 1,000 miles, rode all the way to Kentucky. In our,
In my mind.
in your mind, if you added up all the miles. Well,
With a happy sunshine.
I want to give you something too. If you turn that mug around that you've been drinking out the whole time, it's not because it's COVID, it's because it's who we give to all of our guests.
Face the
Okay.
cameras.
Yeah, look at that.
That's awesome.
Donut Shop Podcast mug. Every guest gets one.
Awesome.
There's only 2 ways you can get a mug.
Right. And I don't want to know the other way.
Oh, if you go online and you buy it.
You can name that pun.
So, salute, my brother. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I
And
appreciate it.
what do you think about a round 2, another day, another episode?
Oh, absolutely.
I'm sure we're going to get tagged with a whole bunch of questions.
Oh, for sure. I would love to come back.
Do a follow-up
We could do a follow-up,
And you can
and
bring-
next year
next year.
when I do my
Like
next
Bella?
my next charity event.
Okay.
It might be Live Like Bella. I
Okay.
would, I might do something for fallen police officers or
Ooh,
something like that.
I like it.
And maybe do a ride across Florida in one day or something like that. But we'll get together, and I would love to come on and
Yes.
give
Tell
you
us all
proper
about
notice.
It. Tell us all
Awesome.
about it. So, Down, thank you. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Salute, my
Awesome.
brother.
Awesome.
All right, another episode in the books.
Calling all units, calling all units. Donut shop has a fresh dozen. Go ahead and take a 1040.